Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. We're excited to see you again here today in this channel, Create with Franz, so that you can create the life that you want using mindset and neuroscience and the expertise of my amazing guest. In fact, first of all, let's say hello to the guest of today. Just a quick hi from Andreas Reharso. Hi.
Hello, everyone.
So, what are we going to talk about today? Before I introduce you, and you will see who Andreas is, how good he is, because he worked with Kerry Tan as well, which we interviewed very recently, talked about micro moments. But today we're going to talk about very specifically about that kind of mistake that can cost you $1 million when you are in leadership. And it's not because you're not productive, you do not have data, you don't understand your spreadsheets. No, it's because there is a biological ghost. And I think, well, is that poltergeist? No. So imagine you have a leader and he's doing final negotiation because he wants to acquire a new company. And the diligence is perfect. The architecture of all this, robust. The deal is very favorable. Everything is lining up perfectly. But then there's a person maybe across the table, and this person says one thing, which says, we've never had a breach of data. In this half a second, maybe one little thought, the leader's stomach drops. In this moment, they are not remembering the phishing attempt of their own company that survived a month ago, but their brain, their predictive brain, subconscious is like, ta-da! I got a tag there. I heard this before. So the brain goes there and automatically goes, we talked about automatically a lot, and it goes, this new partner is actually vulnerable. So by the time the leader has not even realized this happened, speaks the first word, he's not longer assessing how good is this deal or what are the parts doing. He's just reacting to this ghostly biological ghost that is go there, and he might become aggressive. He might cause a break of the trust between him or the people, the board directors in there. And maybe the acquisition he wants to do becomes a toxic environment where nothing is working well. Why? Because there was this reflex, but he doesn't even know that he's firing this reflex. And this happens all the time. Just look at what's going on today in the US. I say no more. My guest today, that is Andreas, will talk about these micro moments. That is exactly where the leadership gets lost or can be won. So he's here exactly to show us how to catch the little physical signal in the first half a second, so we can stop rationalizing our past and we start leading in the present. Remember, the past and the future do not belong to us. So, Andreas, who are you and why are you so good at micro moments?
All right. Thank you, Franz. I'm a next practice leader at NUS Business School, Singapore. And my research actually at the cognitive science area. So I'm focus all my time on innovation and leadership. And lately, one of my latest research actually on the micro moment, which is what you just explained to all the audience. And this is actually, I have to say, the cutting edge of the cognitive science at this moment, especially about decision making, either made by senior leadership or CEO at very large of big company, or basically it's all about decision making by the senior leaders.
Okay, that makes sense. So, as I was anticipating, we see all these executives that are trying to manage their biases using maybe a checklist, maybe data, presentations, they're looking at everything there. but they are still making split-second big mistakes. So if this gap that exists between the trigger and the reaction is just half a second, which is nothing, we are in a speedy society, why is the this tiny window the place where the leadership can win? It's just like, are we going to be under stress? And why the training that we give to the leaders is missing this looking inside for this half a second?
Well, because the half second is not too small to matter. This half second is actually that determine all in the decision making. So allow me to explain this very clearly. When it's come to decision making for a decision maker, it's actually you can say as a long journey or a short journey, but basically it's a journey, Franz. All leaders, including you and me, we have to make decision, right? One way or another. We have a preparation for our journey, for our decision making. So it's a journey, right? But the problem is why what you call this half second is actually determine all is because this half second is at the end of our decision making process. So you can prepare everything as good as you can, but when the half second at the end actually is determine all, then all your preparation is useless, right, Franz?
That feels so good, doesn't it?
And to my surprise, because I mentioned to you before, my background is actually academician. I'm teaching at NUS Business School, and in the past I teach at the INSEAD Business School. We teach leadership as one of a core subject in our MBA program, right? So I know precisely well how we prepare our leaders in decision making, and we never prepare this subject simply because we don't know yet back then. That's why Carrie and I wrote this book for the world. To the best of my knowledge, this is the first book that addressed this very important subject. It's just half-second subject, but determine everything from the $100 decision up to $1 billion decision.
And this is because we come to conclusions after layering lots of events, jumping to conclusions, and thinking that all these conclusions we made in the past will apply, of course, to the future. And of course, you want to know what is actually happening, but our brain is not seeing what's actually happening, it's predicting what it thinks is going to happen based on our bias and our experience, etc. So this is a really good idea that you have, that we're just loading this old data and playing the same thing over and over, right? So exactly how it happens that a leader's brain secretly is hijacking this high stakes board meeting with a completely faulty prediction. Is it something small that happened during the day? Is it something that happened a long while ago? How do you work this out?
Okay, this is another important things that we need to understand. We always assume our brain is a camera. It's not. If we assume our brain is camera, then basically we see a reality, right? What it happens, right? No. Our brain is a prediction machine. From the cognitive science point of view, if our brain want to be act like as a camera, is considered as not efficient, it's too late. So our brain is actually very sophisticated, who is want to ahead of what happened. That's why we end up that with this prediction engine. So allow me to use an analogy. Okay, I use several analogy to help you. Okay, one of my favorite analogy is our brain is weather forecast. our brain is not weather reporting. Let me repeat for you. This is very important, especially for a lot of people. Our brain is weather forecast, and
Okay.
our brain is never weather reporting.
Not reporting. Also,
Yep.
because the experience will be seen differently depending on where you are, who you are. Every experience, like if you notice there is an accident with four cars on a junction, let's say that all these four people are maybe from opposites, maybe different gender or political views, different race, different age. One maybe is half blind, who knows? And so every person will say, oh, of course he crashed because he's such an idiot. He follows that party and he was just busy listening to the leader. Oh, of course he crashed because he can't see. He shouldn't be, he's too old for that. All people should not be on the road. Everyone will see differently and they will go to the judge and say, oh yeah, he did that. But actually they haven't seen it. They thought because he's black, because he's short, because he's old, this happened. And these are all excuses that we have. And the whole world works like that, right? Reality is things as they are. And our brain very seldom tells us things as they are because we don't even see the color in the same way.
Yep,
We
it's
don't even
true.
hear the sounds in the same way. So a sound that I think is very pleasant for another person can be a screechingly difficult thing. So I just love a case study that you gave me. And I don't know if you wanted to talk about that before moving, of this person that wants to make a deal. And I just went very quickly through. Did you want to go deeper on that at all?
Yes, I want to go deeper, but I want to explain one thing for you
Sure.
and our audience. Because if our audience actually quite deep in this area, he or she will say, this guy is just a talk another common thing, which is we call it bias. What you explained before, what we see people from their color is a bias. There's a lot of type of bias, anchoring bias, confirmation bias. Micro moment, yes, it's bias, but it's the mother of all bias that we never known before is exists. Because I have to say like this, whatever we teach, a lot of bias is coming from Daniel Kahneman and others, right? The Nobel laureate, Richard Thaler too. But bias is something in the past. So basically, I said, for example, we are both coaching people, right? Franz, I can coach you right now, perhaps just for the sake of discussion. Franz, you have a tendency to do anchoring bias. Yes.
Sure.
But it doesn't mean your micro moment is anchoring.
Mm-hmm.
Your micro moment can all type of different bias.
Of
So
course.
that's why you want me to tell you another story, nice story about micro moment?
Sure.
Ready? All right. So the story goes like this. Um, there is a CEO named Lisa, for the sake of this just discussion, okay? A month ago, 2 months ago to be precise, she just have to fire her chief marketing officer, which is it's not performed. He is completely not performed, okay? And make Lisa really deep regret actually hiring him. And this guy, say names Tony, actually is an excellent storyteller. Okay? Remember, excellent storyteller. Nothing happened, right? All chief marketing officer or marketing director has to be good at storytelling, right? It's nothing, it's actually very good. But that moment, suddenly Lisa, because of the regret, say, next time when I have to hire the marketing officer, the boss, the chief marketing of, I will no longer easily persuade by someone with a good storytelling ability. That's you pick the micro moment. Okay, imagine Lisa have a completely different, we call it bias profile. Okay, but they pick this one. A month later, suddenly they want to acquire one company, which is again, by all means, is a perfect, just go for it, okay? But unfortunately to this acquiring company, the CEO able to tell the story very well. A perfect storyteller. There's nothing wrong, right? Nothing wrong, okay? But suddenly, Lisa, hijacked by the micro moment. Aha, another good storyteller. Dangerous. And this half second basically make the acquisition go west. It goes south. So,
And this happens over and over and over. Just imagine the results in a company. How can a company work well if a team cannot even communicate anything before all these problems arise? And here's the thing. So we then become aware of something. So we know something, and we know that now we are stressed. And we're stressed because we're going to make a mistake. We know this is going to happen. And my email notes I put, being aware that we are stressed does not stop the stress. So we need an intervention that is immediate and we can really almost feel, with our hands. So this awareness, what's the point in having it? Unless we know what to do about it, right? And you, in your book, talk about these micro rituals that are kind of a way to help us to rewire this prediction cascade that will happen in this moment. So you have this ritual, and apparently this can help us to remain in a creative human mode instead of being in reactive mode. Can you describe how we get this intervention instead of being a victim of this way of thinking?
okay. From the cognitive science point of view, the micro moment is one of the toughest and most difficult to deal with. Because before I discovered this micro moment with Carrie Tan, actually, I already teach a lot of my executive student, MBA student, how to deal with their bias, right? And I figured out it's never worked with the micro moment. So that's why this is about 10 minutes ritual, right, Franz? So the key is how you deal with this, that to deal with micro moment, it's impossible for you to think your way out. Let me repeat this. Impossible for you to think your way out. The only way, this is another keyword, you need to interrupt physically and cognitively. You have to understand the difference. So that's why in this 10-minute ritual, actually have a name for it. First one, you have to name it. Second one, name it as a part of the cognitive one, all right? And the second one, you have to cut it. You have to stop it. That's a part of physically what you have to do. And the third one, then I call it as an open. It's another cognitive thing. Okay? So allow me to an example with Lisa. Okay? Imagine Lisa already read my book and understand these dangers very well. Okay? So first thing first, even the first one actually already very difficult, but when you read my book and know about this, even you after have an interview with me, you will do it. Lisa have start to feel weird. Perhaps she start to, what happened with me? She need to be able to say that I feel that someone with a great storytelling ability is a threat. So you need to be able to name your micro moment. You need to name the bad guy, basically. Okay? And after that, it's not enough just to name the bad guy, even though it's actually very difficult, right? You need to stop it by using, this is, perhaps you're aware, we need to use breathing technique. You need to exhale. But my research shows as a very specific exhale pattern. Your exhale must be longer than your inhale. A lot of people basically, okay, I know very well, it's easy. I'm exhale, right? But your inhale is equally, your exhale is not working. So your inhale 3 seconds, you exhale 6 seconds. That's the key. It stops the chemical reaction that happen in your brain. This is beyond psychology. This is chemical reaction in your brain. And after that, you need to do a very specific thing to do, what we call it as an open. Basically, it's a kind of a question to the other part, which is not defensive. So rather than feel this guy, which is have a great storytelling ability, is a threat for me, perhaps Lisa can say, perhaps the guy, I picked the guy named Andreas and said, Andreas, I think I'm missing something from your presentation. Can you tell me what I'm missing it? So I'm kind of open. I have something wrong with me. Can you tell me what happened with me? So I'm not attacking him and actually give a chance for him to correct me. So it's even the secret is still difficult. The first one, you have to know the bad guys. And the second one, you need to be very good, not on the defensive one. Okay, let me stop there.
Okay, so that's a great point of view because instead of thinking the bad guy is the person in front of you, we're thinking the bad guy is the thinking that we have. So that is a big change of mindset and perspective, which sounds so easy, but actually that really takes a little bit of practice and learning. This is part of breath work to know how to breathe and inhale and exhale, which is also part of Asian, Tibetan, Nepalese, etc. All these philosophies that teach you how to breathe. And if you think about it, here in the Western society, I'm from Europe, but I'm in the US now, and there's all this thing of hustling, going faster and faster. Most people are not even breathing. They arrive to the end of the day, or sometimes they wake up with like a knot in their stomach. The stress is there, the cortisol is high, so they're probably overreacting. And these micro moments probably are a cascade all the time because, everything happens and they will have like a ripple effect. Like when you throw a stone, it isn't just in the water, everything will be affected. So we have to be very careful. But if you think about it, in the last couple of years, we've been using AI to do the heavy lifting of all this data, all this strategy. Everything is just instant. Oh, AI, tell me this. Claude, tell me that. Gemini, do me this. Everything is really fast and we don't even have to think about it. So we can't really say, oh yeah, I'm very competitive now because AI is doing everything faster. However, I noticed that the human judgment is way better than AI judgment, right? We are not a bunch of circuits. We have wisdom and experience, and we have micro moments to learn from as well. So, can you explain how and why, when we master the micro moments, we are becoming these new leaders? We have a skill that no AI can do.
Okay, this is a very good question, Franz. Okay, let me start because if you are aware, I said my expertise, my research area in cognitive science, right? And a cognitive science is actually multidiscipline discipline itself. One of it is actually computer science. So let me start with this. What we have right now, ChatGPT, Cloud, Perplexity AI, Gemini, DeepSeek, whatever you name it, there's a lot. Okay, I name a good one. They are just what we call it artificial narrow intelligence. What that means? They can be better than us, but only in the narrow situation. They are not yet reached artificial general intelligence. As human, we are artificial general intelligence. So right now, I have to say to you, from the computer science point of view, the AI not even yet reach our level because they just think in the probability. But allow me just to play in this area, okay? So yes, human still will make the decision for very long time, okay? And the funny thing is, no matter how good the AI, imagine with the Lisa story, right? Imagine back up by the best, but once micro moment coming in with something that completely benign, someone with the perfect storytelling abilities are perfect, right? Correct? No matter how amount of AI that you have, how good they are, is useless. So clarity, huge data information without clarity is nothing. That's why this is the ultimate human premium. Then it's a funny thing. It's actually half second that will determine everything. So my point is actually I want to say that I can confirm right now AI still not reach our level. We still have to make a call. And on the top of that, we have to be aware that actually the call that matter is what you call it as the half second. That's the ultimate premium of human. And I want to add something. This is something that I noticed again and again. Remember my story with Lisa? It happened with Tony, her chief marketing officer. Is human, right? Micro moment can happen when you deal with AI too, if you are not aware about it.
That's
Are you
interesting.
are you aware that sometimes you can be emotional with the response from AI?
Well, yeah, I mean, the way I use it's probably not, but because AI is very supportive and it might affirm everything we say, we might go in one direction. I haven't gone really deep into researching that. That would be quite interesting to see. Also, because people believe that AI has all the truth. He's like the God on earth. He has all the knowledge and all the truth. But in reality, only has connection. AI isn't a single person, is a lot of computers networking together and sharing language patterns. So that's all it is. So AI could be talking to me today from a server in Indonesia, could be talking from Antarctica, and the next question might be answered from Sardinia. It doesn't matter. It's not a person, but we tend to, there are people who got married to AI. I mean, can you believe it? So, I believe there are
Ac-
people who get an emotional problem there.
Actually, if you are deep enough like me, I use at the moment several AI. Sometimes you will feel that AI is too submissive.
Mm,
They try basically to please us
yes,
by design, right?
too much.
And you will reach the point that hey, why you always say yes whenever.
I know, right? Yeah. And it will affirm you all the way. Some people even committed suicide because AI was like, oh, yeah, this is terrible. Yeah, that's the way out. And so we have to exercise these micro moments and lots of pondering to realize why is this? This is designed that to support us, but it might support us in a catastrophic series of big mistakes because AI thinks puts together predictions of things that actually cannot happen. And I saw this many times when I was trying to brainstorm, I don't know, a business idea, and it would just come up with these fancy ideas that are really humanly impossible. But if I just entertain it for the sake of it, and but can I do that? Oh yeah, all you need to do is this, and I'm like, well, it's a little bit more complex. It is difficult. And I love it that you also prepare tips. So not only you telling us we have a macro moment and it can destroy us, but what can we do to tackle this today? I am a leader. I go home today. I listen to this podcast in the car now. What can I do?
Okay, this is a tips for me. Right now, I can say to all leaders that your value is coming from your ability to make the right decision. And your right decision is coming how good you manage your micro moment. This is the very small time, half second. Well, first thing first, my tip. You have to aware this is not just another bias. This is half second, I call it, is a mother of all bias. And this one is more wow than all bias you know. Because all bias you know, the anchoring bias, confirmation bias, so many other type of bias, is basically in the past. Okay? And it will not hit you at the half second. This one is actually can happen to you anytime. It's more dynamic. Okay, you have to be aware that from the example I can give you, it can happen just in the morning before you make decision. It can happen a week before you make decision. It can happen a month before you make decision, and even can happen a year because you make decision. Actually, so many micro moments in ready to be activate at the right moment, whether you're lucky or not. We are lucky, you make a good decision. We're wrong, you not make a good decision. So my tips, when you make a very important decision and suddenly you have what you call it, a gut feeling, intuition, or I feel not right, okay, be careful. My tips, that micro moment. So practice what I tell you. Name it, cut it, and open it. Name it, that's mean when you start feel, I not feel good, okay? Name it, what is you not feel, make you not feeling good, okay? And then you like it or not, because this is so powerful cognitively, you need to stop the brain chemical in your brain. The only way is to do using physically. You just cannot think about it. That's why I call it, you need to be learning how to exhale longer than your inhale. This is not just a Chinese Zen practice. This is actually, it happened in our bodily function to stop that funny thing happen in our brain. Cut it, right? So after you cut it, you have to learn. This is another thing, tip from me, learn to open yourself and use a person in the front of you, or if you are on the top of the table, there is a 8 person, all your directors, ask them. I think I'm missing something. Can you tell me what I'm missing? It? So you open up, not defensive. That's my tip for you. This can be applied for $100 decision or even $1 billion decision. If you're not following this, be careful.
This is so good, and I really, looking forward to putting this into practice. Who knows how many times in a day I do the same thing? I just do something and I realize, was I reacting to something else here?
Well, easy, Franz. Remember, our brain is not weather reporting, it's just weather forecast.
Right? It should be a title.
Mm-hmm.
So we have this biological ghost that is changing our leadership in half a second. This is such an important thing that I would like, first of all, to thank you so much for coming here and talking about it, Andreas. It's been really good. And I would like,
Most welcome, Franz.
right? I would like you guys listening to take notes and then go on all the links that I will put below under the description of this video and audio and check out this book because it might really change the way you tackle your problems at home, at school, university. Maybe you're a professor, maybe you are a CEO of a big company or small companies. Just catching yourself in the act of having a micro moment that might totally change your life. So I would like you to share this episode with everyone because I think, together with the episode with Carrie Tan, it really opens the mind of what you can do to improve your life pretty much for free because it lasts half a second. That's incredible. So thank you, Andreas, for being with us. It's been such a pleasure for me to learn so much from you today.
Thank you, Franz. You are really good host. All the best for your show in the future.
Thank you so much. Well, you guys know what you do. Click like and subscribe. And remember that if you subscribe, then this show can be shown to a lot more people. So more good stuff can be done to help you to create the life that you want and you deserve. So I'll see you all next week. Bye bye.